Welcome. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nothing to fix. Nothing to solve. Nothing to understand. You have arrived. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out gently. Again. In and out. Allow the breath to move at its own pace. There is no rush. There is no goal. Your body can begin to soften. The muscles around the eyes relax. The forehead smooths. The jaw loosens. Your shoulders grow heavy. They sink slightly downward, supported by whatever is beneath you. Breathing continues. Slow, easy, natural. There is no need to hold on to the day. Whatever happened earlier no longer needs your attention. You can let it rest now. Only this moment exists. Only this quiet space. You are safe here, comfortable, supported. The room around you feels still. The air feels calm. Even time seems to slow. Thoughts may appear, and when they do, they can drift gently away, like clouds moving slowly across a wide sky, like leaves floating quietly on water. No need to follow them, no need to push them away. They can come, and they can go. Your breathing remains, steady, unforced, in and out. Each breath a little slower than before, each breath a little softer. Your body knows how to rest. It remembers. There is nothing expected of you here, nothing required, only listening, only resting. The space around you feels quiet, unchanging, balanced. This moment can stretch, and stretch, and stretch, without effort, without end. Only rest, only calm, slow, easy, natural. And when everything feels settled, when the body feels ready, the story can gently begin. Long ago, there was a small village, a quiet village, a place where nothing moved too fast and nothing ever needed to. The houses stood close together, their walls warm and familiar, their windows glowing softly as evening began to arrive. In the early dusk, the village started to slow. Not suddenly, not all at once, but gently. Daytime sounds softened, voices lowered, laughter faded into quiet conversations. Footsteps became lighter, then fewer, until only the occasional sound remained. Warm light appeared in the windows of small homes, steady and calm, unchanging. Soft light, gentle light, the kind of light that does not hurry, the kind that waits. The air felt calm here, cool, but comfortable. There was no wind, only stillness. The village felt settled, as if it had been waiting all day for this moment. Doors closed quietly, curtains were drawn. Inside, simple routines continued. A cup placed on a table, a chair pulled closer, a candle lit without urgency. Nothing rushed, nothing demanded attention. The streets rested. The paths between houses grew quiet. Above, the sky deepened slowly, shifting from pale blue to soft shades of evening. Time moved gently here, as if it too had decided to slow down. And in this village, there lived a young girl. She was known by the red hood she often wore, a simple cloak that rested lightly on her shoulders. It moved softly when she walked, never heavy, never tight. The red was not bright, not loud, just warm, familiar. She lived here, among these quiet houses, where evenings arrived softly and nights were never hurried. This village felt safe, held, protected by its own stillness. And as the last daylight faded, the village settled deeper into calm. Breathing slowed, sounds softened, movement became minimal. Only quiet remained. And from this quiet village, A gentle journey was ready to begin. Beyond the village, there was a path, a narrow path, soft underfoot. It did not hurry, it did not rush. It simply continued, one quiet step after another. The girl walked along it easily. Her steps were light, unforced, natural. The red hood rested gently around her shoulders, moving slightly as she walked. The village behind her did not disappear. It simply became quieter, more distant, less important. The path felt familiar, even though it led forward. The air changed slowly here, cooler, fresher. It carried the soft scent of trees, of earth, of leaves resting on the ground. Nothing sharp, nothing strong, just enough to notice. The ground beneath her feet felt steady, supportive, reliable. Each step followed the last without effort, without thought. Breathing stayed slow. Easy, natural. There was no reason to hurry, no reason to stop. The path allowed her to walk exactly as she was. The sky above dimmed gently, filtered through branches that had not yet fully closed in. Light still moved softly, finding its way between leaves. Time felt different here, slower, wider, as if moments stretched without needing to end. The path curved slightly, never sharply, never suddenly, always gently, always forward. The sounds of the village faded behind her, not gone, just distant. Ahead, the quiet of the forest waited, not dark, not heavy, just calm. And the path continued, inviting, steady, unchanging. One quiet step after another. As the path continued, the forest gently deepened. Not darker, just quieter. The trees stood a little closer now, their presence calm, their shapes familiar, as if they had always been here, waiting without expectation. Light still moved between the branches, soft and even, sliding slowly across bark and leaves, never sharp, never sudden. Nothing flickered, nothing startled. The air felt cooler here, cleaner, easier to breathe. Each breath arrived naturally, without effort. In and out. Breathing found its own rhythm, slow and steady, as if the forest itself was breathing too. The ground beneath her feet felt steady, supportive, unchanging. Every step landed softly, absorbed by the earth, leaving no trace, asking nothing in return. There was no need to look ahead, no need to look back. The path did not rush her. It did not pull. It simply allowed her to continue. Leaves rested where they had fallen. Some were fresh. Some had been there a long time. All of them were still. The forest held its quiet gently, without pressing, without filling the space. Somewhere, far away, a faint natural sound existed, soft, distant, barely there. Not something to listen to, just something that was. Breathing remained slow, easy, natural. Thoughts, if they appeared, had no shape here, no weight. They passed like mist, thin and brief, dissolving before becoming anything more. The forest did not watch, it did not judge, it did not expect. It simply remained. A safe place to move through, a safe place to slow down. Each step felt smaller now, lighter, less important. Nothing needed to be decided, Nothing needed to be remembered, only this gentle forward motion, one quiet step following the last. And with every breath, with every step, the world felt simpler. After some time, the forest began to change. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just enough to notice. The trees grew a little farther apart, leaving more space between them, more air, more quiet. Light gathered more easily here, resting softly on the ground, spreading without effort. The path widened, its edges less defined, as if it no longer needed to guide every step. The girl felt the shift, not with thought, but with ease. Her shoulders softened, her breathing deepened. The forest no longer felt enclosing, it felt open. Ahead, a clearing slowly revealed itself. Not empty, not exposed, just open enough to invite rest. The ground here was smooth, covered with soft grass that had settled naturally over time. Nothing stirred, nothing waited. The clearing existed without purpose, without demand. The air felt balanced here, neither cool nor warm, just comfortable. Light filtered down gently, touching leaves, resting on the earth, moving slowly as time passed. Shadows shifted, but never hurried. The space felt safe, supported by the trees around it, without being closed in. The girl stepped into the clearing, and the path behind her quietly faded from attention. The clearing held a gentle stillness, not silence, not emptiness, just space, space to pause, space to breathe. The ground beneath her felt steady, soft, supportive. Her body understood that this was a place meant for rest. Breathing continued, slow and natural, without effort, in and out. The forest stood quietly around the clearing, not watching, not waiting. Simply present. Time softened here. Moments stretched, then settled, without needing to move forward. Nothing needed to happen next. Nothing needed to change. The clearing offered permission to stop doing, to stop thinking, to simply remain. Light continued to rest across the grass, unchanging, steady, calm. Everything felt balanced, as if the world itself had gently lowered its volume. The clearing did not ask anything. It did not expect. It simply allowed. And in that open stillness, rest came naturally. The clearing remained still. It did not change. It did not move. It simply remained, quiet and open. The girl stayed where she was, not preparing to go anywhere, not waiting for anything, just resting. Breathing moved slowly now, deep and even, unforced. Each breath arrived gently and left just as gently, in and out. The ground beneath her felt steady, as if it had always been there for this moment. Nothing pressed against her. Nothing pulled her forward. Her body softened naturally. Shoulders released. Arms rested easily. Hands grew warm and heavy. The muscles of her legs no longer held effort. They relaxed, supported by the earth. Time felt different here. It no longer moved in steps. It no longer asked to be noticed. It simply existed, wide and unhurried. Thoughts, if they appeared, moved slowly. They had no weight, no urgency. They drifted through awareness and quietly dissolved. The clearing held the space gently, without sound, without motion. Everything continued to soften. Breathing remained slow and natural, steady and calm. There was no need to guide it, no need to follow it. It moved on its own. The forest around the clearing stood quietly, present without attention. Nothing shifted, nothing stirred. Light rested softly, no longer important, no longer noticed. The body felt heavier now, supported completely, as if the ground itself was holding everything in place. There was nothing to remember, nothing to plan, nothing to prepare. Only this moment remained, only rest. The clearing did not ask for awareness. It did not ask for effort. It simply allowed rest to deepen on its own. And as everything settled, stillness became familiar, comfortable, safe. Nothing needed to change now. Nothing needed to follow. The clearing remained just as it was, quiet, open, unchanging. Breathing continued on its own, slow and natural, steady and calm. There was no need to notice it, no need to guide it. It simply happened. The space around her stayed still, and the space within her felt just as still. The forest rested quietly in the distance, present without drawing attention. Light softened further, not fading away, just becoming less important. Shadows rested where they were. Time no longer felt like something moving. It felt wide, spacious, unhurried. Thoughts no longer needed words. Images no longer needed form. Everything gently loosened, as if the mind itself was learning how to rest. The clearing did not hold her. It supported her, quietly, naturally. There was nothing to listen for, nothing to wait for, nothing to remember. Only rest remained, and it was safe to drift, safe to let go, safe to sleep. Softly, slowly, in your own time. Stillness remained. Nothing shifted. Nothing changed. Breathing continued, slow and steady, moving on its own. There was no effort in it, no control, no direction. The body felt fully supported now, resting without resistance. Every place that touched the ground felt held, secure, comfortable. The clearing no longer needed attention. It no longer needed awareness. It simply existed, quiet and steady, like a calm background that did not ask to be noticed. Thoughts became distant, not gone, just far away. They no longer formed. They no longer connected. The mind rested between moments, soft and unoccupied. Time felt wide here, open, unmeasured. Nothing needed to happen next. Nothing needed to follow. Only rest continued, deepening naturally, without effort. The body remained calm. The breath remained slow, and stillness stayed.